Kago, a lab mix puppy, was placed in the same area as a cheetah. They looked at each other quietly for some time. Then, something intense and unexpected happened. Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. On July 16, 2015, a shelter puppy named Kago was brought to a zoo with a specific task: to be put inside a cheetah's enclosure. This puppy had traveled from Alabama to Virginia just for this. When Kago first arrived at the shelter, he was frightened of his new surroundings and everyone he met. Everything was new. The state, the people, and even the smells were strange to him. His journey led him to the Metro Richmond Zoo, where his fate awaited him. As he entered the zoo, he was greeted by the sounds of other animals and the excitement of visitors. The zoo staff led him to an enclosure that was to become his new home. What Kago didn't know was that he was about to be introduced to a cheetah. The cheetah he was about to meet wasn't particularly menacing, but it was still a wild creature, causing the zoo staff to watch their meeting with a mix of anticipation and worry. The zookeepers had thought this through carefully and were now eager to see the results of their experiment. When Kago was put in the enclosure, he immediately locked eyes with the young cheetah. There they were, two animals from completely different backgrounds, facing each other. The atmosphere was charged as everyone watched to see how this unusual encounter would turn out. The situation could have ended very badly for the small dog, making the staff feel extremely anxious about the risk they had taken. However, they had no other options. If their plan failed, then Kumbali, the cheetah, would have to endure a difficult life by himself. When Kumbali was born on May 12, 2015, to his parents Kari and Hatari, the zookeepers at the Metro Richmond Zoo were overjoyed. However, their joy soon turned to concern as they noticed that Kumbali, the smallest cub in the litter of four, wasn't thriving as expected. At just 2 weeks old, his struggle became apparent. Despite the efforts of his mother to care for him, he wasn't gaining weight like his siblings. The zookeepers observed him closely, monitoring his feeding patterns and behavior. What they discovered was heartbreaking. Kumbali appeared weak and lethargic, often unable to keep up with his siblings during feeding time. The other tiny cheetah towered on him, pushing him out of the way, and overall made feeding feel like a Herculean effort for him. During a routine checkup, the vets discovered that Mom Kai wasn't producing enough milk for all her babies, and this prompted them to fight for their food. They weren't doing it out of malice. They were simply embodying the laws of nature, where only the strongest survive, and he wasn't strong enough. Kaylee's once bright eyes now seemed dull, reflecting the toll that his lack of weight gain was taking on him. The zookeepers knew they had to intervene to give him the best chance at survival. With heavy hearts, they made the decision to separate the cub from his mother and siblings. It was a difficult choice, but they knew it was necessary to ensure his well-being. The weak youngling was placed under intensive care, where the staff could closely monitor his progress and provide him with the specialized care he needed. The days that followed were filled with uncertainty and worry. Kaylee's condition remained unstable as he struggled to feed and gain weight. The caretakers worked tirelessly, bottle feeding him around the clock and keeping a vigilant watch over his fragile health. Despite their efforts, his weight continued to decline. They consulted with veterinary experts, exploring every possible avenue to help the struggling cub. They adjusted his diet, tried different feeding techniques, and administered medications to address any underlying health issues. As the tiny cheetah fought to survive, the zookeepers held on to hope, refusing to give up on him. They showered him with love and care, offering comforting touches and soothing words in his moments of weakness. Their dedication to his well-being never wavered, even in the face of uncertainty. Days turned into weeks, and Kaylee's condition began to show signs of improvement. With each passing day, he grew stronger and more resilient, defying the odds stacked against him. His appetite returned, and he eagerly accepted nourishment from the caring hands of his human caregivers. Slowly, his weight began to stabilize, and his energy levels increased. he started to show interest in his surroundings, exhibiting playful behaviors that brought joy to the hearts of zookeepers. His movements improved, and they discovered a playful side to him. The young cheetah loved to jump, run, lick, and play around with the staff, who had become like family to him. Even though he was still very young, he amazed everyone with his incredible speed. When he was smaller, he acted a bit like a house cat. He enjoyed using his caretakers as if they were cozy furniture. Whenever he got tired, he would stretch out on top of them until he found the comfiest spot for a nap. His happiness was clear as day when he purred loudly to show he was content. Just like his siblings, Kali had regular checkups with the veterinarian, and he got all the necessary shots to keep him healthy. But even with his progress and the switch to a mostly meat diet, the caretakers at the zoo faced a challenge. They couldn't put him back with his mom and siblings. They knew that if they attempted to reunite them, the mother would most likely consider him a threat. Cheetahs are quite different from their cousins, the lions and tigers. They are inherently wired for flight instead of fight, making them incredibly fast scaredy cats. They are nervous and easily frightened animals, and don't take well to sudden changes in their environment, and the staff knew better than to make the rest of the family anxious by introducing Kumbali at that age. Despite their anxious habits, male cheetahs are social animals. In the wild, they form coalitions with other males, usually their brothers. This is exactly what Kali's siblings were doing in their family enclosure. However, he was now all alone in the world. Now that he could not be reintroduced to his family, he was in need of a companion, and not of the human sort. The staff didn't want to risk turning what should have been a wildcat into a domesticated pet. But if Kali kept hanging out with humans alone, he would inevitably lose all his predatory instincts and start to rely too much on his caretakers. The staff needed to find a solution, and quickly. Thankfully, they had an idea. Man's best friend would soon become cheetahs too. Dogs have been used as companion animals to cheetahs for over 30 years. 3 decades ago, the notion of pairing dogs with cheetah was born at the San Diego Zoo, and it marked the beginning of an extraordinary practice that would change the lives of these incredible creatures. That zoo also had a lone young cheetah cub, much like Kumbali. That cub struggled to thrive in the absence of companionship and presented a challenge that demanded a unique solution. But, unlike Kumbali, this cub had been born at the same time as another resident of the zoo, a playful dog with a loving personality. The pup was everything the cheetah wasn't: easygoing, adventurous, relaxed. Amidst friendly chats during breaks, the staff joked that the dog would be the perfect mentor for the cheetah, if only they could bear to share the same enclosure without fighting. But that's when someone asked a powerful question. Why would they feel the need to fight at all? They were the same age, and the cheetah completely lacked any predatory instincts. What if they became friends instead of enemies? So, armed with dedication and innovation, the staff decided to explore an unconventional avenue by pairing the cheetah with the dog. The idea sprang from the understanding that cheetah, despite their fierce reputation, are naturally sociable animals. Recognizing the cat's need for companionship, they sought a solution that would provide comfort and alleviate the stress of solitude. And when it worked, wonders for both animals, the whole world took notice. As the years passed, this practice became a recognized and widely accepted method for enhancing the well-being of captive cheetahs. The positive outcomes weren't limited to companionship alone. The dogs played a crucial role in easing the cheetah's natural anxiety, fostering a sense of security that allowed them to thrive in captivity. The success story from San Diego resonated across the zoo community. As the news spread, other zoos recognized the potential of this practice and eagerly embraced the concept of pairing cheetah with dogs. The practice wasn't without its challenges, and each zoo adapted the concept to suit the specific needs of its resident cheetah. Collaborative efforts within the zoological community allowed for the exchange of insights, experiences, and best practices, creating a network of support for the continued success of cheetah-dog pairings. Based on the San Diego experiment, the dogs were found to have a calming influence on the wildcats. In most cases, the cheetah would take behavioral cues from the dog, learning not to fear its surroundings, but instead embrace them with confidence. In the long run, the dog would normally become the dominant figure in the relationship by becoming the protector and leader, while the cheetah will not hurt or kill its friend and instead find solace in its company. In fact, despite being natural-born predators, cheetahs are sweet creatures and apparently love following cues. The zookeepers at the Metro Richmond Zoo were well aware of the success stories that had unfolded in San Diego and other zoos that followed suit. The decision to pair their cheetah cub with a canine companion was influenced by this rich history of successful cheetah-dog partnerships. Though they had this plan in mind, the staff had something missing. Unlike the San Diego Zoo, they did not have a suitable dog on hand to pair with the cheetah. The first step was to look for a rescue dog, one that needed a second chance at a happy life. They knew that some breeds would be more suitable than others, and yet they weren't interested in a dog with a pedigree and a verifiable background. They believed in the power of providing a home and a friend to an animal that had faced challenges of its own. The staff aimed to make this connection meaningful for both Kumbali and his new canine companion. The search wasn't easy because they had specific criteria in mind for the ideal dog. They needed a pup with a calm yet playful personality, someone who could keep up with the energetic cheetah but also provide a reassuring presence. The challenge was to find the right balance in a dog that could adapt to the cheetah's unique needs. The zookeepers reached out to local rescues and shelters, explaining their vision for Kali's companion. Some places hesitated, uncertain about the odd pairing of a cheetah and a dog. Others, however, saw the potential for a heartwarming friendship and were eager to help. Finally, a breakthrough came when they received a call from the Art of Paws, a rescue organisation known for its dedication to helping animals in need. The organisation had a 10-week-old lab mixed puppy named Kago, who had been rescued from a shelter in Alabama. Kago was on the euthanasia list, but the Art of Paws stepped in to give him a chance at a brighter future. Excitement filled the air as the zookeepers saw pictures and a video of Kago. They felt an instant connection with the adorable pup. His calm yet playful demeanour seemed like the perfect match for Kumbali. The Art of Paws generously offered to donate Kago to the zoo, and the decision was made. Kago would be Kaylee's new friend. Kago made the journey from Alabama to Virginia, bringing with him the promise of companionship for the young cheetah. As soon as he arrived, the staff instantly fell in love with the lab mix puppy. His wagging tail and curious eyes melted their hearts, and they could sense the potential for a beautiful friendship between Kago and Kali. However, amidst the human cheers, the true test awaited. The young cheetah would have the final say in this tale of friendship. As the lab mix puppy stepped into the cheetah's enclosure, the energy shifted. Aware of the new presence, the young predator turned towards the dog with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Everyone felt a collective hush of anticipation as they watched the scene unfold. Kumbali approached the new intruder with careful steps, his movements deliberate and filled with curiosity. The air was charged with tension as the two animals stood face to face for the first time. The cheetah sniffed the air, taking in the unfamiliar scent of his new canine companion. The staff watched anxiously, their hearts pounding in anticipation. Kumbali, demonstrating a surprising level of understanding, extended a gentle sniff towards Kago. To their relief and immense joy, he seemed to embrace the presence of the dog. The tension dissipated as Kali displayed signs of curiosity and warmth towards the playful puppy. Within hours, the dynamics between Kali and Kago transformed. What began as a cautious encounter blossomed into a genuine friendship. The duo, with their shared enthusiasm for exploration and fun, quickly became friends, and the zoo staff celebrated this heartwarming union. Kali, with his sleek spots, and Kago, with his furry coat, didn't seem to notice or care about their differences. There was only acceptance. Now, The duo could be seen everywhere together, jumping, running, licking, and playing joyfully. The once anxious Cheetah had found a companion who brought laughter into his life. The zoo staff marveled at the transformation, realizing that sometimes the most unexpected friendships are the ones that bring the greatest joy. As Kaylee and Kago continued to grow together, the bond between them deepened. The staff marveled at how seamlessly the cheetah and the dog embraced their unique friendship. They became an inseparable duo, playing, exploring, and even enjoying mealtime together. However, feeding time for Kumbali and Kago posed a unique challenge for the zookeepers at the Metro Richmond Zoo. While both the cheetah and the dog enjoyed their meals, their dietary needs differed significantly, requiring careful planning and coordination to ensure both animals received the nutrition they needed. The staff understood that Kumbali, as a cheetah, required a specialized diet rich in meat to support his growth and energy needs. On the other hand, Kago, being a domestic dog, had his own dietary requirements that included a balanced mix of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, not to mention treats. To accommodate these differences, they had to separate the two friends during feeding time. This was necessary to prevent any potential conflicts or competition over food, ensuring that each animal could eat at their own pace without feeling threatened or anxious. During feeding time, Kumbali and Kago were temporarily relocated to separate areas within their enclosure. But after finishing their meals, they always reunited and engaged in playful interactions. The zookeepers observed with delight as their friendship continued to flourish, even amidst the occasional challenges of mealtime. Beyond the enclosures, the friendship between Kali and Kago became a heartwarming attraction at the Metro Richmond Zoo. Families and children gathered to witness the extraordinary companionship between a cheetah and a rescue dog. The story of Kali and Kago spread far and wide, capturing the attention of animal lovers everywhere. Meanwhile, the zookeepers continued to highlight the importance of animal conservation and the positive impact of unique partnerships like Kumbali and Kago's. Educational programs were initiated to teach visitors about the role of zoos in wildlife preservation and how these unconventional friendships could contribute to the well-being of animals. As the word got out, more rescue organisations reached out to the zoo, inspired by the success of Kago's story. The zookeepers collaborated with these organisations to create a platform for promoting the adoption of rescue animals. Kaylee and Kago, once lonely and displaced, became ambassadors for the cause, advocating for giving animals a second chance at a happy life. Currently, the plan for the Metro Richmond Zoo is to use Kali as an example to remind the world of the importance of conservation efforts all around the world for endangered species. Kago will spend his life as a beloved figure at the zoo. These inseparable best friends will continue to live together and be seen by visitors as long as they're alive. The Metro Richmond Zoo started programs to get the community involved, inviting schools and groups to learn about protecting wildlife and the special bond between Kumbali and Kago. This made the zoo a place for fun and learning, helping people feel a connection to animals. Visitors came from far and wide to see the unique friendship that broke through the barriers between species. This story might teach us something about friendship and kindness. Isn't it a heartwarming pair? Do you know of any other unusual animal friendships? Would you consider a similar path for your pet if it could help others? Let us know what you think below. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.